This week's gospel is the incredible story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. This is just an awesome story that shows us the full humanity of Jesus and his full divinity. Right, his full humanity is on display because he goes there, he knows that Lazarus is dead, he knows what he's about to do, and he's still overcome by this deeply human emotion, and he cries. He wept at Lazarus's funeral. And so we see this fully human, emotive Jesus. And at the same time, we see his full divinity because he has the ability to call this dead man to stand up in his tomb and walk out into the light of day. Just fascinating display of humanity and divinity. He also is calling his shot in some sense because, as we know, Jesus is going to be crucified on Good Friday and he's going to rise from the dead on Easter Sunday. So he's sort of showing he has the ability, he's got the authority over death. He's already raised a few people from the dead in the Gospels, but this one is very dramatic because there's a crowd there, right? If you recall, with one of those resurrections from the dead, it was a small group of people in the room, just their parents, Peter, James, and John, and that was it. Here, there's a crowd that gets to see this guy has power over the dead. And so he calls his own shot. He calls a shot with what he's going to do with us ultimately at the end of our lives. He's going to raise us from the dead as well and give us resurrected bodies again. There's also a cautionary tale on this story because notice the religious leaders at the time still refuse to believe that Jesus is from God. They look at this resurrection of Lazarus as yet another reason why they have to get rid of him. And in fact, they have to get rid of Lazarus too to get rid of the proof that he rose someone from the dead. And so the cautionary tale is this for us who are deeply familiar with the story of Jesus. Do we hear the full story of Jesus? Do we hear his teaching? Do we let his voice resonate in our hearts uh, for what it is, or do we try to keep him in his own little box where Jesus is safe, or maybe we're safe from him? Because just like those Pharisees, those Sadducees, those scribes, those religious leaders, and probably some folks in the crowd too, we can be so hard-hearted that even if we see someone rise from the dead, we still refuse to give our lives to Jesus. And so that's the question for us this week. How hard-hearted are we? Have we softened our hearts this Lent? Are they softening over time? Are they softening over the years of following Jesus? Or do we still just want to keep him in his little box where we think we're safe?